You are listening to the Work-Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple, to bring harmony and balance to this world, starting with the family. There is so much more to life than the 9 to 5, and this show is designed to bring you inspiration, motivation, and practical solutions to bring balance and joy back to your life. Work-life balance is not a myth, it's a choice. Themes on this show range widely between faith, family rhythms, work, and lifestyle philosophies. You will also hear burning ladder essays submitted by our community of friends and listeners who ditched the rat race, beat burnout to pursue a more balanced and purposeful life. My hope is that this show and the stories shared will provide encouragement, motivation, and will provide some ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive into today's episode. My teenage daughter is currently evaluating what she wants to do for a career. In a recent conversation, she said to me, "Dad, I would like to have an epic life." She went on to mention that she knows what she wants, but she also knows what she needs. This statement struck a chord. It's an awareness that we all should have in making life decisions. Chasing our wants is the fast road, and the needs are steep mountains to climb with fundamental lessons to learn. There's a danger of choosing the want before the need. Many of us lean towards the fast road to money, success, and independence. This is not necessarily bad, but is this the right order? We want wealth, but wisdom is what we need more of. I'm sure we all can remember when we were young and naive. I remember my 19-year-old self that was ready for freedom, and I knew what I wanted in my bank account and what my definition of an epic life would be. Boy, did I get it all wrong, and it has taken an epic life to realize what an epic life really is. An epic life is slow. It's up and down, and my destinations have never taken me the most direct route. When we get riches without the lessons, we lose it. When the riches become our idol, we drift away from the values that matter most. When we want success right away, we miss the unglamorous, tedious task that will sustain that success. At the end of the day, we must be careful about where we set our desires. And when we do set those desires, we can't forget to ask for the needs before the wants. King Solomon is a prime example to learn from. He asked for wisdom instead of wealth. This was a need before a want. Because of his humility at a young age when he took over as the king of Israel, God granted him both wisdom and wealth. As I reflected in episode 2, count it a blessing if we can find 2 mountains to climb during our time on this earth. The first mountain is to gain skills and stability, to see the world and find our way to fit into it. We're accumulating wealth on this first mountain, not just in possessions, but in skills and social capital. The first mountain, however, has a valley where we learn and we go through darkness. And when we come out of that valley, hopefully there is wisdom, enough to climb the second mountain and to leave the first mountain behind. That second mountain is giving it all back in wisdom, mentorship, and coaching. We can't just snap our fingers and get what we want in this instant gratification culture. Let's not let the Instagram life fool us that we can be an overnight success. In other words, we can't just jump to the top of the first mountain and call it epic. We must work and go through the difficult seasons. Epic is when we grow in character, knowledge, and wisdom. It's also in these places where we must put our dependency on the one and only that brings us security, God. Earlier this week, I was working with my 9-year-old daughter on her writing skills. She's a phenomenal reader, however, her writing is lagging behind a bit. So to encourage her, I reminded her of how she became a phenomenal reader. The skill was sharpened through practice. The exercise of practicing is the same for our careers. Applying and sharpening our skills is the foundation of all work. There is unglamorous, tedious, and uncelebrated dirty work to get to mastery level. Even with our natural gifts and trained skills, it takes practice to perfect our work. To get to mastery, we must put in the time. And once we find that sweet spot, we must ruthlessly protect our time to be able to work in our craft. We lose our joy when we focus more on the outcome versus the input. The epic nature of our work is in the actual work. I would like to draw a parallel between the instant epic life to what's happening in college athletics. There are many strong arguments to pay collegiate athletes, and on some level, I agree with it. However, the system, or the lack thereof, that is currently in place is something that needs correction. Name, image, and likeness, better known as NIL, is cancerous to our culture, as there are no parameters to how much money a student athlete can make in a marketing deal. College athletics was already on slippery grounds due to the conference realignments for the pursuit of more money and more media. But now, the students are also jumping around for the same reasons: money and media. More money, more problems. Yes, I would like my kids to make it, and the next generation to be better. However, the pendulum has swung too far the other way of making kids rich before they have gone into the workforce, before they have learned financial literacy, and before learning that money is not the source of happiness. When children start making more money than the adults in the room, you can throw respect out the window. Sports is a great life teacher, but is a major influencer in our society that pulls the strings of our media, entertainment, and politics. Universities around this country are unfortunately teaching the next generation the principles of entitlement, laziness, and petulance. Money is a necessary and fantastic tool, but it doesn't make for an epic life. If it's not managed well, it can destroy our lives. I'm sure there are impactful stories of homes and families saved because of the NIL. Maybe there are a few student athletes who are making wise decisions with the money that they are making. I applaud those rare cases, and I'm rooting for any good that can come out of this massive overcorrection. But I would like to encourage our society and our universities at large to get back to the basic principles of pointing the next generation towards the epic life of generosity, hard work, and the beauty of the unglamorous life. This episode is brought to you by Own Your 5 to 9, an organization committed to freeing families of the rat race and burnout. Every organization has a leader, mission, and a set of values that drives the organization. But this is commonly missed in the most important organization in the world, the family. An organization has one mission for how it will impact the world. Why not the family? An organization goes into strategic planning to to align its values, mission, and projects. Why not the family? Whose Home, a strategic planning guide for families, is a workbook and a tool needed in all households. Whose Home takes a strategic planning approach with 10 guided exercises to define your core family values, family mission, and tools to operationalize how your family does life together. If your family is facing big decisions, Whose Home is for you. If you're considering a career pivot, Whose Home is for you. If you desire more intentionality and harmony in your home, Whose Home is for you. Create a healthy culture, not a hustle culture, at home. Visit ownyour5to9.com to claim your copy today. Students aren't alone. We adults would like our growth to be epic, to be reflected in our bank accounts. Financial freedom is something to strive for, so I don't want to be hypocritical in my distaste of the NIL. The point is that we need to put more focus on growing down than growing up. This oxymoron of growing down is how we get grounded and to strengthen our roots. Without strong roots, we will topple with external growth. A tree blooming with fruit but has no roots will fall down. These are the lessons that I alluded to earlier. Wisdom is more valuable than silver or gold. Strong roots also start at home with the family. Our world is increasingly putting off the importance of family to pursue career success first. Some are waiting for later in life to get married, while those of us who are married are ignoring our families while we chase success. This is all dangerous for a myriad of reasons. Stability is honorable, as we must work, provide for our families, and avoid living a life of poverty. But greed is dangerous, as it leads to chasing wealth before relationships, wealth before love, or wealth before wisdom. If we're going to chase excellent and a happy, epic life, let's make sure we get our sequence correct. Let's ensure our priorities are correct. Maybe you define epic in different ways. Maybe it's in your experiences, in the moments of rest, in the moments of adventures or accomplishments. There's no specific set of ingredients to an epic life. However, the epic life isn't only about making it or making a good living. The epic life is the totality of all the mountains and valleys that we go through. Epic is in the adventures and the days on the porch, the days of raising kids and the days of sending them off. It's in the vacations and the grinding days. The epic life is both in the feasting with the queen and in the days of surviving off rice and beans. The epic life is the full human experience that can be defined by our seasons. When we reflect back and see what didn't kill us, but actually made us stronger, we will see the beauty. We will see something quite epic that we call life. In all of the seasons, the epic life is the ability to remain grounded. No matter if the storms are raging or if the sun is shining, we can find the epic life grounded in the gratefulness of the journey. Finding the epic life is discovering the hope of our true treasures in heaven. And those treasures are accumulated by our good deeds on earth, for we are all created for good works. For those of you who are parents, I challenge us all to teach these lessons to our kids. Teach them to pursue wealth in friendships, relationships, and community. Teach them the value of hard work, slowing down, and the beauty of practice. Teach them the importance of character, which is doing the right thing when no one is looking. Teach them that epic life is defined by a life of genuine authenticity, hard work, service, gratitude, and humility. And finally, let's teach them that growing never ends, and it requires being rooted. The day that we stop growing is the day that we stop living. So yes, the epic life is possible. In fact, for some of us, the epic life isn't about a future life. It's about our ability to reflect and see the blessings that were already right there in front of us. We don't learn anything when we take shortcuts. We must have patience in the ups and the downs to truly enjoy the good life. Hard wood grows slowly and burns slower. That's epic. Thank you for listening to the Work Life U by OSIS podcast, part of the Work Life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all, and your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and to submit your story. While you're there, join the Work Life U by OSIS newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or a loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.